I'm Yasukawa. So I'd like to talk about the RAISE tutorial, which is the contents where you can learn web service development. This program is also adopted by the university as a credit-earning curriculum. And for those programs at university, we have the evaluation or feedback from the students. And as you see here, 2020 and after, we saw the steady improvement. So it seems that it's a good affinity, a good match with the remote learning as well. So that means even if that was a web-based, there's not much difference in terms of learning experience. So I'd like to share some the background information today. But first, I'd like to share some background like our tutorial. And another thing is the keyword flipped classroom, which is a quite interesting topic to cover. So first, RAISE tutorial. This is the landing page. Let's learn about the programming 0 to 1. So the product development 0 to 1. So this is for those who had some basic ideas about programming itself, login, logout, session, password, and how to deal with users' information. Security-related topics are included. And if you Google our program, Rails, for example, you may see our programs on the first page. And this is a picture at Kogakuin University and ARI University have adopted our program. So the picture I showed you was before we went online. So we usually had a participants of that site, 10, 20, and then from 2020 we went online. And also for the university program, we have adopted flipped classroom approach. So I'd like to talk about this approach first. So by contrast, there's the conventional learning style. So conventional learning style is now like I'm speaking to you now. Information is given one-sidedly. And then after the class, students try to solve the task. But flipped classroom is the new knowledge is provided to the students before coming to the class. So during commuting or at home, the students acquire the new knowledge, and when they come to the classroom, they apply their knowledge to work on the task. And those actual problem-solving approach will be assisted with interaction with the instructor. So that's the approach. It requires more preparation, but with this approach, students can acquire the new knowledge outside the class, and more time can be spent on a dialogue and interaction during the class. And especially if you like to try web service development but find it too difficult, this approach may be good for you. And especially for those who are not really confident or have a little bit of challenge, this approach was very good match. But anyhow, it's not the main topic for me today. So if you're interested, please check the RubyWorld Conference 2018. The Rails tutorial, we have adopted this flipped approach, flipped classroom in 2018, and the evaluation score at that time was 4.1. So there was some other reason that evaluation improved. So I'd like to share some of the feedback from participants and students, why their evaluation or feedback improved. We have received many feedback. So first, 18 and 19 when we gave the tutorial face-to-face. So our tutorial was for students who had some basic ideas about the programming. But then the learning about the web service development, there was a kind of gap. So they wanted to have some learning materials to fill in the gap. And some of them said they were quite happy with rich material we provided and support we provided. And based upon the feedback, we improved our curriculum, the ProGrade for beginners. And after learning the basics with ProGrade, more advanced programming like text editor, GitHub, CSS, and JavaScript. So we have provided tutorial content. So because there's different levels of the participants, so they can use the different content according to their level. So we can support the participants with different levels. So that was 2018 and 19. And then 2020, that's when we started more online. And many feedback were about the questions or the task we gave to them. The many questions require the participants explain their understanding in words. So they said it was very good for them to explain their own learning in words, and also they appreciated quick feedback given by the instructors. So it was not just given the right answer, but about how to think. For example, RBM install, why is it necessary? So there was a kind of questions to allow the students to think more deeply. So as you might have realized, the feedback were not directly related to remote learning itself. Even before we went online, we had some good materials to support students, and we had more dialogue. So interactions about error message would be the same, whether that's online or offline, given the feedback. So this kind of dialogue can maintain the same quality of communication, whether that's online or offline. So especially this style is good for the Rail tutorial, which requires a lot of hands-on work, hands-on exercise by the participants. And then task and content, we try to improve the material. And as a result, as you see here in this graph, we received the improvement in the evaluation. Lastly, I'd like to touch upon the training program for the companies. Many companies have challenges regarding their in-house training program. Since around 2021, we started to provide the service to the companies. So using the flipped classroom, they can acquire the basic level of skill, and then React and other more advanced topics can be provided. And then I think it will be beneficial for the companies. So just like the program we offer to the universities, we arrange the program for the companies. So we support them with designing of the training, or we just provided the training itself. So that just a provision of the training, or designing or assisting the design of the training. We offer these two types of the program. And especially based upon the feedback, the flipped training, flipped classroom, and the deeper thinking was beneficial. So not just memorizing the answer, say RBM, PyEmb, why do we do this? And of course, the version management is important, you might say, but if you don't do this, what would be the result? So you're expected to explain what you think in your own words and then share your thoughts with other team members. So it's not like correct answer or the wrong answer. So you share your ideas using Slack and learn each other so you can deepen your understanding and widen your understanding. We have 70 or so of this kind of questions. We apply the method to the corporate training program as well. And we appreciate many companies have been using our program, GMP Peppapo, for example, and front-end mobile training. Before giving those more advanced topic, they used our tutorial. And they adjusted the topic for the different teams. And also, as I mentioned at the beginning, security is one of the popular topics. So PHP, for example, it's not limited to Rails. So the companies which are using other language can also benefit from our approach and also support the material. Sonic Garden provides the tutorial to the beginners and also PVL, like a boot camp, Sonic Garden camp. They have adopted our system, and also the training design for a company called Classy, the training for the new hire. And furthermore, there are some other companies providing the contents, the learning contents, and one of them is TechPit. This was a press release of our collaboration. So after finishing Rails tutorial, you can learn RSpec basic, Rails tutorial, and then React and tutorial, the Rails combination, and the sample app for AWS, GitHub Action for CI/CD, Rails plus Vue.js. So a tutorial could be a base to learn more advanced courses to cover more participants. So if you're using Vue.js, you can take the topic related to Vue.js. So there are more varieties, there are more choices, because there's a limit that one company can do. So by building the ecosystem and working together with other companies, we can widen the coverage. And the baseline could be the Rails tutorial and a sample app. So sum up, flipped classroom approach is beneficial, and it encourages many people to try on the training, the learning. And this approach is beneficial whether you learn remotely or not. And then, of course, review and improvements are necessary. And our approach is beneficial not for university, not just for university, but quite useful for companies as well. So we are improving our program day by day. And we have been doing all these things, collaboration with other companies and other colleagues. So if you're interested, you might acquire more superior learning experience. And as a result, I hope that more people are interested in the development of web service. So Rails tutorials, time remote learning, the Y evaluation improved despite the remote learning. So thank you very much for your kind attention.